Green light. Go, go, go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Monday night XCL special. We have just the one race on this evening. So potentially we might have two races going side by side, but I think one of them might have been cancelled. But we have definitely this one multi-class race going on right now. So we actually have a mixture of the bronze, silver, gold drivers mixed in with the rookie drivers. The rookie drivers are out there in GT4 cars, and then the silver, bronze, and gold drivers. They are out in the GT3 cars, so that's what I mean by when I say multi-class race. Anyone that is familiar with this format will know that it's a 20-minute qualifying session. And then basically for the first 10 minutes of qualifying we have the GT3 cars out doing their qualifying session, and then after 10 minutes they all come in the pits, finish their existing laps, and then the GT4 cars come out for the second 10 minutes, and then they have a crack at the whip. It looks like for qualifying we're probably going to have a 1:27, maybe a 1:26 pole time for the GT3 cars, and I think pole for the GT4s will be somewhere in the 1:36, so about 10 seconds down. As we see, who is it? It's who is the leading car out there? Sorry, just number 98. So it's More Than Cote is the first driver out there. So we'll ride with him as he sets his first qualifying lap. Yeah, so we're about 2 minutes into this qualifying session, and like I said, they do have 10 minutes. Now, if they cross the line with 10 minutes and 1 second to go, they can continue and finish their lap. But obviously, if you go past the line after the 10 minutes is up, then you have to abort that lap that once you've crossed the line, and return to pit, so the GT4 cars can go out unhindered, and then have a go at trying to sort of see what times they can set. So like I said, we're looking at probably a 1:27, maybe a 1:26 for the GT3 pole time, so we'll keep an eye on those kind of times as they come in. I fully expect someone like Zidane to be at the front. He is our only gold class driver out there at the minute, as highlighted is by the white banner. All our bronze, silver drivers, they're all in the kind of silver banners here. Then you can see that little blue marker if you look at Malmsey in fifth here, like it's that little blue marker, and the red banner shows that one, he's a rookie driver, and the blue marker means that he is racing in the GT4 class. So yeah, we're just riding with More Than Cote now. As you see, he comes around to complete his first lap. It looks like Zidane behind him has defaulted his first lap, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. But yeah, as Cote crosses the line, his first benchmark time is a 1:28.8, and we'll just wait for a few of these cars are going to dive through and set times now. So more I would leak as he comes around. But as you can see, we're already into the 1:27.7s with Steph Ork. Steph Ork, one of the quicker drivers out there today, one of the quicker drivers in the sort of bronze and silver classes. So yeah, maybe it'll be a low 27 then, maybe 26 has been a slightly optimistic. As Leaker crosses the line, so and he went P3. See who else is coming across here. We're just going to run so look at Carl Williams. Carl Williams has come around to say his first time. So Carl Williams, I think over the last week or so, was promoted from the rookie class up to the bronze class. I think it was probably be no surprise to anybody that Carl Williams was going to be promoted quite quickly. He is one of the best drivers we have at XCL. When he's on his day, he's almost unstoppable. But he seems relatively human with that first lap time of 0.8 down from Steph Ork's time. The number 98 car, More Than Cote, has come around to set his next lap, but let's just run with Zidane as he looks to set his first flying lap. It looks like he's let a few people past. The number 99 car behind him is... that is Ronald Spears. I'm just going to see if he actually is on a blue lap or not. Yeah, it looks like he's defaulted again. So we'll ride with Ronald Spears as he does set his next lap. Arctic Fox is saying hello. Hello, Arctic Fox. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you've got the popcorn, and welcome, Wolf. I look forward to you chatting with me today. Wolf, I'm not sure about the email announcement. I think you have to click that, if you go onto my main page. I think if you click on the little bell button, does that mean you get an email notification? Hopefully someone else in the chat that's maybe viewing right now can kind of help Wolf out with that one. I'm not sure how to get the email notifications. I'm just going to ride with Rich as he comes round. He's currently 0.7 down off of the main time, which is still being held by Steph Ork. We're still waiting for Zidane's first lap time. He is going around now, and it does look like he is on a flyer at the minute, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, Rich currently in 8th place, 0.7 back, and on his second lap through, let's see how he gets on. Carl Williams did improve on his lap previously, as Rich goes 6th with 0.5 behind, sorry. But Carl Williams is now less than a tenth of a second behind Steph Ork, along with Ronald Spears. But we are now looking at, I'm going to go back to the Zidane now, because Zidane is our only gold class driver out there, so we'll keep an eye on him and see what kind of time he can set. I think he'll be the kind of person that maybe can get into the 126s, but we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, Wolf saying he has done that. Yes, I'm not sure, Wolf. Hopefully, if more people chat, they can kind of give you an idea. I'm not exactly sure. I'll Google it for you if you like. And Wolf, are you in our Discord channel? Because if you are, I can maybe give you the answer there afterwards. But as Zidane crosses the line on his first flying lap, he goes a 1:27.4. Yes, as expected, our gold class driver is doing gold class things, and he pops straight out in the lead. Yeah, just behind, also just in front of Ayrton, about 0.2 of a second back. Let's see who else is out there at the minute. Tack Gunner is out there about to finish another lap. He's currently down in P15, 1.9 seconds off the pace. Now these guys have got about 3.5 minutes left before the GT4 cars come out and have a crack at this. But as Tack Gunner crosses the line, he's currently 1.9 back, and he goes doesn't improve on that one. One thing to mention here, guys, you'll probably see this red bannered Sylph driver here. Sylph was a recent promotee to the bronze classes, so although he does have that red banner, he is a bronze class driver, so we have to excuse us for that mistake there. We made a mistake uploading the incorrect entry list this morning, so or this evening, sorry. So yeah, Sylph is a bronze driver, and that will be updated in the next race. So who else is out there setting some times at the minute? So let's have a look at Just Ayrton. So Just Ayrton in that red Ferrari, he is the closest driver to Zidane's 1:27.4. Now Zidane is in front of him on the track, so we might see Zidane go even faster here, because now he's got that banker lap in. He will allow him to you know, to push a little bit more, because he does have that sort of pole lap currently, so you might see the aggressive driving bump that lap time down. But as Zidane crosses the line, his 1:27.4 time does go to a 1:27.1, so Zidane could maybe creep into those 1:26s. And as Just Ayrton crosses the line, he doesn't actually improve on that particular lap. Let's have a look at Carl Williams now. He's currently 0.7 back. Okay, well, yeah, I'll let Ninja know, and hopefully, yeah, he can give you an answer for that, because yeah, surely there is a way to get email updates. I'm just not sure, if I'm honest. But as Carl Williams comes along the line, comes along the line, comes on the last corner up to the line. He is 6th place currently, and this will be probably his last lap out there. But he might have 2 more opportunities here. But yeah, he stays 0.7 back. We see the number 13 car of Ninja coming around the last corner. He's currently one of the slowest GT3 cars out there at the moment, 2.5 seconds back. Let's see if he can improve on that. He does. He goes 1.7 seconds off the pace, but that's improved his time by 0.8 of a second, so I think he'll be happy with that one. Next, let's have a look at the number 350 car. So Lico PT. We've read with Lico before. Let's ride with Sylph on this next lap. So he is currently 1.1 seconds back. We'll have a look now and see what kind of times he gets set. So the GT4 cars are going to start getting twitchy now. They now only have 1 minute and 6 seconds before they can come out of the pit lane. So I'm sure they're going to be excited for that one, as it looks like Sylph abandons his lap. So Doug Bors is coming around now. He is currently 13th place, 1.6 seconds off the pace. It may be, Wolf, it's something to do with my settings then, but I will have a look for you. And yeah, if anyone's in the chat and they do know about the email alerts, please let me know. Or please let Wolf know in the chat. But yeah, as Bors crosses the line, he does go up to 12th place, 1.2 seconds off the pace. That is a good lap by him. There is 30 seconds left in this one, and I'm just looking at the number 13 car of Ninja. Now, can Ninja, because so remember, although the GT4 cars can come out at 10 minutes, if Ninja can get across that line before that 10-minute timer is over, he will be allowed to finish his flying lap before, obviously, the But then obviously after that he has to quickly stop and abort the next lap. But he does cross the line just with enough time, so he is going to be the last driver to cross the lines. You see all the GT4 cars trickling out the pits now. So the first driver to finish their lap is Steph Walker, who's currently 0.6, and he goes second place, 0.1 off the pace. So now you'll see, he'll just put his brakes on, pull to the side, and quit back to the pit lane, obviously to avoid any kind of collisions. The number 55 car ahead of him is defaulted his lap, which would have been BMW. So BMW will stay 14th in qualifying unless someone behind him can beat him. But just Ayrton is now on a flying lap, so as he crosses the line, let's see what kind of times he can set here. So he's going across the line now, and he doesn't improve, unfortunately. So that is his last qualifying lap over. We're now going to go with Doug Bors. So Doug Bors is coming around the last corner. Oh, and he goes completely wide, so that's his lap over. Baz is coming around now. He's 1.66 off the place in 16th place on his final flying lap. Can he improve on this time as he crosses the line? No, he doesn't improve either. So no one's really improving that much on the last laps. But Carl Williams, 0.7 back. Can he do something with his last lap here? So as he crosses the line, he goes 4th. That is a great last ditch qualifying by him. Now, the last man across the line, and the last man that can potentially set a qualifying time is 11th place Ninja. He seems to be getting faster and faster, but can he on his last flying lap? No, he dives straight into the pits. That's aborted straight away, so that was a bit anticlimactic. But now it's chance for the GT4s to get some air time. So we're riding with Malmsey currently. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like we have 10... GT4 cars out here currently, so we'll just, as we're with Malmsey here, he's going to be the first car to set a flying lap. Now, basically, these guys now will just run until the end of the session. Ike Fox and he'll be right back. No worries, Ike Fox. We'll see you again shortly. So Malmsey is the first driver out there in that pink and orange Porsche. He is followed by Robbie and Champ of Hal. Actually, we'll have a little drop of him in a second. But he is out of Xbox jail. He hasn't been out of race for the last few weeks, so we'll be interested to see how he gets on. As it looks like Danya Zaitsev has dived in at the last minute. Obviously, he won't be able to go out and qualify, so he's going to start behind the GT4 cars. So that's going to be a bit chaotic for him. Danya Zaitsev looks like he's a late joiner here, so he will be joining the back of the field, and he's going to have to work his way through all of the GT4 cars before he can then kick on. And as he's gone wide down, that'll be his first lap aborted. So we'll switch to Robbo now, because Robbo will be the first car there that can now potentially set a time. Tony Doc here saying, hey Tony, but saying he loves a mixed car race. You know what, Tony, I do as well. I like the jeopardy of it all as well, because when the GT4 cars, we see a lot of drivers, that's Champ of Hal behind him diving across the gravel there. But yeah, I like the jeopardy of the mixed car races. Mindless Shark or Baby Ninja here saying that he went into the pits because he wasn't improving on his lap times. That's not a problem, Baby Ninja. It was good of you to get out of the way ahead of the other cars. But we're looking at Robbo 332 here. Sorry, I must have Seapel there. My apologies. Seapel did get a time which is 10 seconds off the pace, but we'll call that the. Let's have a look and see what that lap time is, so we can kind of gauge that a little bit. That is a what has he set here? It's a 1:37. So it looks like it's it looks like it's a 1:37 there, but I will do my best to keep an eye on these ones as as Seapel goes sideways there. But who else is? Let's go and ride with Farrell. Actually, I'll just quickly ride with Champ of Hal for a second. Because as I say, as you see, Champ of Hal in the GT4 car, like a man possessed, has got out into the front row here. Now, a mention here actually, we'll mention Champ of Hal first, and I'll go to. I'm going to say Fancies. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. We'll call him FX for today. So FX in 20th place. He is one of the new drivers, but I will mention him in a minute. But yeah, Champ of Hal, so he was basically banned off Xbox, not just ACC, but the whole of Xbox Online. So he was released from that prison on the, I think it was today, the 31st of July. So he is out there racing, and on his first race back, he is currently 7/10 faster than the next driver down the line. Mention here to FX or Fancies. Can anyone in the chat kind of tell me maybe how to pronounce his name? But I think it's I'll just call him FX. But yeah, he is, although he's got that white banner, it doesn't mean he's a gold class driver like Zidane at the top. What this means is that he is a brand new driver. So not only is he a rookie, but he is a debutant today. So this is his first ever race with XCL, and on his first qualifying lap he pips it, puts it into second place in the GT4 category, 0.7 off of, or 0.9 now off of Champ of Hell. Let's have a ride with, where is Malmsey currently? Looks like he maybe defaulted his second lap as well, so he really needs to kick this one in a little bit. But who else out there is potentially going to set a time? Yeah, it looks like, because obviously the GT4 guys are a bit slower and they're all quite bunched up together here, we're not going to get a lot of times coming through quicker than we did. But let's just run you through the order so far. So Champa Howe is currently out there on the pole time for GT4 cars. 0.9 of a second back is FX on his debut race with XCL. About 0.3 back from him is the Sapel, who was on pole shortly until Champafau and FX took it over him. About 0.3 back from him is Mark Music. You'll know him from a lot of the he did quite a lot of racing with us, so he's in that kind of familiar red and white kind of branding car. Gorilla Radio, another good driver. He is 0.2 seconds back off of Mark Music, so that's going to be quite a good battle. It's about 0.2 from between most of these cars. Robbo 0.2 back from him. And then, Black Cowboys he's about a second, or about 0.8 of a second off of the back of that main kind of train of cars. And then Hushweb, again, is about 0.5 of a second off of the back of Cowboys. But as Malmsey comes around the last corner, can he now, for the first time, set a time today? So with his first he goes third in the GT3 class. The other driver that hasn't currently set a time is Farrell. I don't know if he's out there currently on a flying lap, but as the other guys come through, it looks like, Malmsey is still currently holding that third place spot, but let's just keep an eye on Farrell and see what he can do on his first flying lap in with the GT4 classes. It looks like Mark Music jumps up into third place here, so that's great. So Farrell comes he comes up a bit short. He's 0.1 behind Hushweb on the last remaining position in the GT4 class. But Mark Music with a great qualifying time there. He pops up just ahead of Malmsey and takes that third place spot in qualifying for the GT4 class. And there hasn't been any other movements anywhere else up the field, but let's just ride them with we'll go back to Malmsey. We have 2.5 minutes left as he's actually off. He's defaulted. The 118 car ahead, so 919 car of Gorilla Radio. He's the next driver out there that can potentially set a time, so we'll keep an eye on this one. Danya Zaitsev is in the chat saying, hello guys. Danya Zaitsev, you've joined this qualifying session late, so that is going to be an interesting race for you, having to be 29th, having to get past all the GT4 cars at the start. Please be careful, Daniel Zaitsev, and try not to cause any crashes in the back of those slow cars ahead of you. But I do trust that you can do that quite well. Dick Trickle is in the chat today. Dick Trickle of the Dick Trickle Racing Network, my co-commentator and second in command at XCL. He is, to be fair, you're first in command at the minute, Dick Trickle, because you are the main man. Clorp is on holiday for two weeks, so you've been left in charge. And as he said, try not to burn the place down, please. So as the next cars come across the line, we see Champ of House still out there on pole with FX in second place. Mark Music is still in third, but Gorilla Radio has somehow, look at these times here, 10.005, 10.086, 10.092. There is less than a tenth of a second between Mark Music, Gorilla Radio and Malmsey. All, to be fair, there's 1/10 of a second between all four Porsche drivers between 21st and 24th here. So that's going to be a crazy race between Mark Music, Gorilla Radio, Malmsey and Saipol. So watch out for that one, guys. That's going to be awesome to see. There's literally a tenth of a second between all of them. That's crazy. As the number 32 card comes across the line as well. That is Malmsey coming around to set what will be this will be his last flying lap. I don't know if the number 919 car of Gorilla Radio, who is just coming around the last section now, does he just default his lap there? I don't know. With 33 seconds to go, can he get around to start another lap? We will see. But see you later, Arctic Fox. Thank you for dropping in, and we'll see you again next time. So yeah, as Guerrilla Radio comes around, he's got 17 seconds to go. I think some of these drivers will be able to get through and set one more time. But then I think, or maybe not, this is going to be close. I think Guerrilla Radio might get through, but the Disciple behind him I don't think is going to make it. So as Guerrilla Radio crosses the line, he leaves that late and he gets through for one more shot of this. As the Disciple... so I'll just kick that one off there. So Champ of Hell, crosses the line there. He is currently sat on pole, but all the drivers come around now. So we have the number 447 car of Black Cowboys. As he crosses the line, can he improve? No, he stays 26th. The number 36 car coming across the line now of FX. He does improve 0.6 behind Champ of Hell, but Champ of Hell is got a bit of a lead over everyone else out here. But the only driver out there now that can potentially set a time then is Guerrilla Radio. He is currently, like I said, what is it? He's about a second off of pole, but he is in this battle with Malmsey, Mark Music, and obviously the Disciple does kick in with a time that's 0.1 faster. So I still think this battle here between Malmsey, Guerrilla Radio, Mark Music, and the Disciple, that's going to be a really, really good one to watch. Choo Choo Train here saying Arctic Fox, hey, like you only hear from him. It looks like Arctic Fox has just left, unfortunately, though. Tony Doc saying good debut qualifying for FX. I think so. Yeah, FX is 0.6 off of the pace, but that doesn't mean with fuel on though, because it's a 45-minute race. Who knows how he's going to perform there? We just need to keep an eye on Daniel Zaitsev and make sure he doesn't sort of clip any of these cars on his first lap trying to get around them all. But yeah, that's I'll be interested to see how FX gets on here because. He's clearly got some pace about him, as Guerrilla Radio does cross the line and doesn't improve on his time. So I will go through the order before the start of the race. But yeah, that is a good qualifying session for everyone involved. And I'm just going to grab a drink. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm back again, guys. But just to answer Ninja's question in the chat, he's just having a go at Dick Trickle for not being in the booth. I think, Ninja, the biggest thing we need to be commenting on here is the fact that there is a slot open in this race. Dick Trickle was on the reserve list, and for some reason he hasn't decided to race here. So I think that's the more biggest concern, Ninja, than the fact that he is sat out there and just spectating the race. But yeah. There is 29 drivers in this race, Mr. Trickle. There is 30 slots available. You have 1 minute and 36 seconds to fire up that rig and get in the seat and get on the back of this grid. I believe in you. Come on, move fast, mate. Move fast. Joyin, that's it. That's it, Ninja. Joyin. I smell chicken. Yeah, Trickle, you're getting called out here, man. You've got 1 minute 17 seconds. Get that spectator password out, get back in here and get racing. You've got 1 minute to go. You can even start from the pit lane if you want. But yeah, I mean, you've been spectating this whole qualifying session, Mr. Trickle. You should have known that there was a space free. Tut tut tut. But yeah, just to quickly cover the fastest qualifying times here. So we do know that with the pole time here, we have Zidane, who set a 1:27.1, but actually just Ayrton set a time which is 0.1 of a second faster than Zidane in sector 1, which does show you the sort of you can get a 1:26 here if you wanted to, or if you could. I mean, sorry, and then the pole time on the GT4 cars was a 1:36.1. So what it does go to show you guys is that we could have had a 1:36 here, and I think we could have had a 1:36 for GT4s, and we could have had a 1:26 for the GT3s. So there's a lot of pace out there. It will be interesting to see how. I said the one thing to watch out for is that GT3 car sat at the back of the pack. Yeah, we will keep an eye on that one as it unfolds. But yeah, we'll just walk you through the grid now. Right. Okay. So I was just catching up with the chat there. But yeah, so we have Zidane, our only gold class driver. He's currently in first place in this race on pole position. He has got Steph Ork alongside him in the Lamborghini on the front row. We have the two Williams. Now they're not, although they have Williams 55 and Williams 55. We have established recently that these two guys, although they've both got Williams in their surname, they've both got 55 in their game of tags, and they're both driving the Mercedes. They are not brothers. So that is an interesting little fact for you. But the Williams, we'll call them the Williams brothers for today, though. But they are going to be racing side by side, both in the Mercedes, and they're both from South Africa as well. But yeah, not official brothers. Lico and Ronald Spears are going to be on 5th and 6th in this race in the McLaren and the Lamborghini. We have a Ferrari and Lamborghini. We've got 3 Lamborghinis in the top 8 here, of just Ayrton and Chicharito. More than Cote and Silf making all Mercedes 5th row, rounding out the top 10. Rich and Ninja are 11th and 12th here, with Doug Bors and BMW in 13th and 14th in this race. We have Baz and Tat Gunner in 15th and 16th in the all Ferrari 8th row, with SLR Rosso and Mad Caster rounding out 17th and 18th place, and the main runners for the GT3 class. Now don't forget, we do have Daniel Zaitsev currently in 28th place, running at the back of the field. He joined late, so do keep an eye on him moving up through the field later on. In the GT4 class, we have Champ of Hell currently on pole position, with FX in 2nd place. In 3rd and 4th, we have an all Porsche 2nd row with the Seipel and Mark Music, and then we also have an all Porsche 3rd row with Guerrilla Radio and Malmsey. Now watch out for this Seipel, Mark Music, Guerrilla Radio and Malmsey battle. That's going to be really, really interesting to see how that goes, because they're all really close on times here. We have Robbo in the McLaren alongside Black Cowboys in 25th and 26th, and then rounding out, we have 2 more here. So we have Hush Webb in 27th here, and then we have Faraday saying 29th, but I think he should be ahead there. I'm not sure what's going on with that one. But let's go back to Zidane quickly, and I'm just going to quickly go to the replay and change it to the better camera angle before the race starts, as we have now gone through that there. So let's just go to this one here and go back, and then we'll have a much better shot come race time. Here we go then, guys. So we're riding with Zidane here now. As you see all the cars lining up here, it's so hard sometimes when you've got those little sharp hairpins just before the start of the race. But as we go up to the line here, 45 minutes, there's green lights, and there's go, go, go. Now, it looks like Zidane did get the better start here. And we see 2 Williams drivers behind them as well. But, yeah, it looks like they're going to try, all 3 of them are going to try and dive down the inside. I don't think they are. But, yeah, Zidane gets out cleanly in front row. And then Brandon Williams, I think, got through there into 2nd place. Let's just quickly go back to here. Yeah, and then I think in 3rd place is oh no, it's Brandon Williams. I think I say he's just all going a bit over the place in a minute, but he slides out there. I can't catch up quick enough. Yeah, he's going to lose so many places here. I don't think he's going to fall down about maybe 10, 12 places, as yeah, Steph Ork is going to regain that 2nd place, but he has got a bit of a train behind him at the minute, as yeah, Zidane leaves the rest of the field behind. I'm not sure exactly how many places Brandon Williams lost there, but as they go across the next timing screen down the straight here, down to the yeah, the bottom part of the track, we will see that one. But yeah, Steph Ork is now in 2nd, with Carl Williams up in 3rd. Is looking pretty racy out here at the front, and then we will go back and keep an eye on the GT4 battle afterwards. But as Zidane goes through, we do have the number 26 car on the GT4. It's quite far back with a yellow flag down the back of the track, but it is Zidane here, our only gold class driver, that will take the what looks like the first lap lead. As you see, he's already got a 1.5 second lead, as these 5 cars behind are battling it quite hard here. It looks like that's Lico on Ronald Spears. I think Ronald Spears has got past him here on the first lap, but yeah, Zidane is going to take the first lap lead in the GT3 class. Steph Ork is in 2nd, Carl Williams in 3rd, just Ayrton in 4th, Ronald Spears in 5th, Lico in 6th. It looks like Silf has got past in the 7th place. More than Cote is in 8th, Chicharito in 9th. Rich is rounding up the top 10 currently in that McLaren. Doug Bors is in 11th. he is being chased down by BMW a little bit back. Williams looked like he's lost, up to 10 places here, because he's now down to 13th place. He's got Mad Caster running behind him, one of the event managers at XCL. Baz is in 15th place, running just behind these guys, with SLR Rosso in 16th. Now, Daniel Zaitsev has almost made it through. I think he has now, sorry. So that is Daniel Zaitsev making up the back of the GT3 class. Actually, there's quite a few here. There must have been a little crash somewhere on early on. But Champ of Hal is leading the way in the GT4 class, with FX in behind. It looks like Malmsey here is just, that GT3 car attack gunner is going to fly past here, but something's gone on there, definitely for sure. Mark Music is, looks like he's lost a place to Black Cowboys there. I think maybe there was a little accident, but he is now in 22nd place, as we see like Black Cowboys is up ahead there. Farrell also, so it looks like maybe Mark Music has had a bit of a crash here. Now, the reason why the reason why Ninja's back here some way back is it looks like he's tried to do a first lap pit stop along with the disciple in the GT4 class. So these, and we also have Robbo in there as well. I don't know if this is maybe due to crashes, but Ninja trying an interesting strategy here, where he has just dived straight in the pits early doors, and now he's going to start pumping in some really fast lap times. But let's just go back to the start here, because already then that means, because of the people pitting, we're going to have GT3 cars clashing with GT4 cars. But Zidane out the front is ran out of lead of 3.2 seconds so far, and it looks like that GT4 car that's on the track there is going to cause chaos here. I don't know if that's the Disciple. Let's just go back to him now, but where is he on the track? Now, one of these GT4 cars is mixed right in the bunch here. I'm not sure exactly who it is. I can't. It must be Hush Webb, I think, here. So Hush Webb had all those GT3 cars going past him, and there was quite a few cars out on the track there. So Carl Williams. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep a tab of this, because those drivers are pit so early. That is hard to keep an eye on there. But Carl Williams is in second place, 3.8 seconds back. Steph Ork has dropped off there. I think they had a bit of a issue there with that slow GT4 car on the second lap. I don't think they was expecting a GT4 car to be there. So Lico is now up to fourth place. There's definitely been a lot of changes here, so I'm going to apologise. I have missed quite a few of these because of obviously what was going on there. But Sylph is up to fifth place. Ayrton is sixth. More Than Coat is 7th, Chikorito is 8th, and K Rich and Doug Borson 9th and 10th. I think we've had one of the drivers potentially drop down here somewhere, as just to keep an eye on Zaitsev, he has moved up to 16th place. He's 2.1 seconds behind Rosso here. Lico was on the back of Steph Ork, as just gets in deep there, but Lico has moved up to third place now, that's right, and Sylph is now, as we see another GT3 car going the pits of just Ayrton, but I don't know if this is potentially some of the guys pitting now is because of crashes, as we see Sylph getting really on side by side, and he's going to get past Steph Ork here. Now, I don't know if Steph Ork has got damage, because he is going pretty slow here, and he has lost 2 places in the space of 3 corners. Let's just quickly go back and keep an eye on the GT3 side. So it is Champ of Hal out in front. He does have the number 15 car. There's quite a few pit stops here as well. So we've had Ninja, Malmsey in the GT4, Ronald Spears is pitted as well. The Seapool, Hushweb, and Robbo have all pitted so early here. There is no pit windows, and it has caused a little bit of chaos out here, as the number 88 car of Carl Williams is now coming up to another back mark here. So this is I believe this might be the Seapool here, potentially being overtaken. So he was one of the first drivers to go in the pits, and now he's going to have all of those GT3 cars pouring in behind him. So hopefully we don't see too much another sort of crash here, but FX is having a good race out here. He's 2.7 seconds back from Champ of Hal, with Black Cowboys now behind him, 5.3 seconds back. But because we've had so many, we've had 4 GT4 cars pit of the 10 that's out there, means that the field is a bit spread out here, and it's hard for me to keep tabs on where everyone was, because there's so much carnage in that first lap. We've still got GT3 cars tripping over GT4 cars out here. This is hard to call it at the minute, guys. This is probably one of the most manic races I've ever had to kind of commentate on, because I'm trying to keep it on 2 different classes here, and everyone decided to pile in the pits on lap 1, which means I've got cars all over the place, massively out of position I have no idea who's gonna finish anywhere in this race at the minute. But yeah, more than Co is half a second back from Steph Hawke now. So Steph Hawke has lost places to Carl Williams, Lico, Sylph, and he's now got more than Co behind him as well. So either Steph Hawke has really heavily fueled his car here, or he has picked up damage from that GT4 incident earlier. But if you look on the track map here, you've got GT3 cars and GT4 cars all mixed up all over the place. Ninja saying he got hit here. So yeah, I think that's probably why he pitted early there. But let's see what else has gone on. So BMW is chasing down, it looks like he was chasing down Doug Bors, but potentially he's got past here. It says, yeah, Williams and, is that Doug Bors ahead? Yeah, so Doug Bors is in 8th, Williams is up to 9th now, so his comeback is, he's kicking on a little bit now. He was down in 13th place, he's made up 4 places so far, and he is going to have to be pretty racy to get back up to the front here. But yeah, he's currently holding 9th place as he looks to make a move here on Doug Bors. As he's going to dive down the inside here, it looks like he is going to try that one. So Doug Bors doesn't try too hard to battle this one, knowing that Williams is probably the faster driver. As we see a BMW and Baz looking pretty racy behind here. And then we have Mad Sycaster, looks like he's made a move on Chikorito here to take up to 12th place. And then Daniel Zaitsev is still now chasing down SLR Rosso for that 14th spot. He is 3 seconds off the pace currently, but yeah, he did have to move his way through the whole of the GT4 class at the start here. Champ of How is in a race of his own, and currently he is cruising in the lead, 3.4 seconds ahead of FX, his nearest rival out there. Looks like he's already lapped a GT4 car ahead of him, but just Ayrton is going to be coming up to this battle in a minute. He is yeah, one of the sort of GT4 cars that has decided to pit early. Black Cowboys is in a bit of a battle here with Mark Music, but it does look like Mark Music during that GT3 overtake has managed to get that place back, and he's currently holding what will be 3rd place in this GT4 race. But obviously there has been there's been 5 cars now that have decided to pit in the GT4 class. So just looking at those guys there, we have Malmsey, we have Farrell, which is, yeah, he's some way back from Malmsey here, 7 seconds back off of him. And then we have the Seipel, who's in a bit of a race of his own. He got lapped by all of the GT3 cars early on. And then Hush Webb again, he's pitted, but he was in a bit of carnage. I think he may have had some damage from some of the GT3 cars. He's down to 28th, and the last man at the minute is Robbo. I think he had to pit for repairs because he was in the pits for quite a long time. Now, Carl Williams is still trying to chase down Zidane for that top spot, but he is 5.8 seconds back. So Zidane is in a world of his own right now, just cruising out there. Such a fast driver. He's going to be he's gaining almost a second a lap on the rest of the field. Silver is now chasing down Lico here for what will be 3rd place in this race. Silver, like I said, he is a recent bronze graduate from Rookie. Yeah, he's looking pretty racy out there, half a second back from Lico, and he might potentially be able to make a move here soon. As he's racing down here, and we also behind two seconds back we have Steph Hawke, and he has still got more than Coat. Looks like Steph Hawke has managed to stabilise his decline, because he was for the first 6 laps just going backwards, but now he seems to have yeah, started to nail in the lap times, and he's now like, yeah, nice and calm in 5th place with more than Coat just behind him. 2 seconds back for him, like I said, but K Rich is in 7th place. He has got a 2-second lead over Brandon Williams, who has now got past Doug Bors. Actually, that was a bit earlier on, but it looks like Doug Bors has actually just stayed with him, sorry. As we look at Baz still being pretty racy on, who was that coming across the, was that Mad Sycaster? No, who was that? Was that one of the, that might have been one of the GT3 Mercedes, maybe of Champ of Hell potentially. No, I don't know who that was then. Was that Farrell? Yes. So Farrell then dived across the sand there, as we saw the GT3 cars trying to make those overtakes, and yeah, luckily didn't collide with anyone there. As we see, Daniel Zaitsev has decided to pit now, or he's just coming out of the pit, sorry. So he is now, did he gain any? Yeah, so he looks like he's back now to being the last GT3 driver out there. So he has got about 16 seconds on Ronald Spears, but obviously he did have the issue of having to get past all the GT4 cars at the start, and he would have lost a lot of time there. Now the net pit stop leader currently is just Ayrton, who is currently currently in 16th place. He is chasing down Tat Gunner ahead of him, and but obviously he might be hoping to leapfrog quite a few cars as they go into, as we see the braking power of the GT3 cars are so much stronger than the GT4 cars here. But yeah, Just Ayrton will be hoping to see if he can get himself back up the field. There's so many cars quite close together here, as we see. Like Doug Bors is 0.7 behind Williams here, but he has got that is Champ of Hell. That is Malmsey, sorry, currently one of the pit stop leaders in the GT4 class. He is going to tuck it back in, and BMW is going to have to try and go around the outside here. He decides to think better of it, but although it is the obligation of the GT4 cars to get themselves out of the way of the GT3 cars, if you have to take the racing line, there is not much you can do about it, as we see Malmsey going back in there, and he's going to allow Baz to dive down the inside here. But yeah, Williams here racing with, that is Zaitsev a lap down here, but obviously he has pitted. But yeah, Bors, BMW, Baz, these drivers are all really, really close together, and it'll be interesting to see how that race unfolds as the race goes on. Currently still at the front, we have Silf chasing down Lico. Now Silf, it looks like he's got the pace on Lico here, but he is chasing down about half a second back for that last podium spot, and it has allowed Steph Falk to creep back into this battle, and he has left more than Coat just a little bit behind, but they're all within a second of each other, like, you know, like 0.3 here, 0.7, 0.9, so they're all within each other's slipstream here, and this is going to be another close battle for what will actually be the last podium place on this race. Carl Williams at the front is still racing along in second, but he is 8.3 seconds back, so at the minute, like I said, Zidane is gaining about a second a lap here. But let's just check back in with the GT4 class, as I'm just going to check in with the chat as well. Doesn't like Wolf saying a Ninja 360, oops, so I'll have to check on that one in a second. Is that was there a crash there by Ninja? But yeah, Champ of Hal is currently the lead GT4 car. He has got FX behind him, who's having a fantastic rookie debut here. He is 6 seconds back in second place in the GT4 class, with Mark Music chasing him. It looks like Mark Music has broken a good gap to Gorilla Radio ahead of him as well. So these three drivers at the front are really running away with the race, as Gorilla Radio, because he had to let through a lot of back markers, has now... yeah, he's currently in fourth place, and then behind him we have Farrell, Black Cowboys, the Seapool, Hushware, Robbo. All these drivers have pitted, so and Malmsey here as well. So it will be interesting to see where all these guys filter back into this race when the rest of the cars decide to pit stop. But yeah, we'll keep checking in with the GT4 class. At the minute, there's a lot of spread between them all. Actually, it looks like the closest guy here is Black Cowboys on Farrell. But yeah, we'll come back in here in a second, guys, and keep an eye on that one as that race does start to get down, as you know, the rest of them start to pit. I'm not sure. Was Carl Williams trying to go around the outside of him there? These GT4 cars are not necessarily being that predictable, but I like how tiny the GT4 cars look against the GT3 cars as well. It's just like. It's like they're driving little micro machines. But yeah, Carl Williams is losing about a second a lap currently to Zidane as they weave their way through the GT4 classes. So many of the bronze and silver gold drivers haven't decided to pit yet. Lico is trying to keep Carl Williams honest here. He's about a second back. I thought that gap was about 3 seconds previously, so I think Carl Williams, when he got tripped up by Mark Music there, has allowed the drivers behind to catch up a little bit. Silf has been glued to the back of Lico for the last, what seems to be like 6 or 7 laps, and that race is going to go all the way to the finish, I'd imagine, here. And Steph Falk is doing his best to keep up here, but obviously he looks like he's fallen somewhere back. I don't know if he's potentially had a crash here, as he does go in the pits here. So that's promoted more than Coat up to 5th place in this race, and Rich is now trying to get around the outside of Mark Music here, and he's currently holding 6th place. Brandon Williams, one of the men on the move, sorry, he's up to 7th, and he is trying to chase down Rich in 6th place. He's 3.7 seconds back currently. We'll keep an eye on that time and see how that one drops down as the race goes on. Doug Bors is currently in a race, like I said, with BMW and Baz. These guys behind. What I do want to see is where Steph Falk is going to come out in regards to like Ayrton and Ninja, who's 23 seconds back off of Ayrton's following that spin. But as Steph Falk does come out, where is Just Ayrton? So Just Ayrton is coming down the main straight now as Steph Falk is exiting the pits, and we will see Just Ayrton get past here. So that was Steph Falk from quite a good position in this race, and that's going to mean that Just Ayrton pitting early is going to have a good run up to the top of the table come the end of this this race. Ninja is some way back following what Wolf said was a 360 spin, which is a accident there. As we see Ronald Spears, I think he's already pitted before. I don't know if he's decided to retire here, but it looks like all of the we still have 3 GT4 cars still yet to pit, but it looks like Guerrilla Radio. No, my apologies. I thought he had pitted, but he hasn't as well. Sorry, but yeah. So the front 4 cars in the GT4 class still haven't decided to pit. It is still Champ of Hal out front, out of Xbox jail with FX behind him, 8.9 seconds back. And then, Mark Music currently holding 3rd place. He's got a lot of GT3 cars to let through there, but he's doing a good job letting them all through. And then Guerrilla Radio is trying to chase him down. But at the minute, it looks like it's just those 3 battling by themselves for those top 3 places. Back at the front, Lico is managing to keep Carl Williams just ahead of him here. It currently says 0.7, but based on the aerial cam here, it might be a little bit more. A little bit more as we go around here. But Carl Williams currently 9.2 seconds off of Zidane. Zidane currently holding the fastest lap of this race. Lico just in behind with Sylph behind him. These 3 guys have managed to drop more than Cope behind. Obviously, there was Steph Ork was in that gap, but he has lost a bit of time to Ayrton on the track, so he's about 8.8 seconds back. So based on where Ayrton was on this part of the track, and if you look at these times, I'm wondering if that means that Ayrton, based on the time of where Steph Ork is compared to where Ayrton is on the track, if Ayrton can keep pumping in these lap times, and he's got a little bit of clean air ahead of him now, so this is going to be really good for him. I'm wondering if he might actually end up popping out ahead of Carl Williams in 2nd place in this race. So keep an eye on that one, guys. BMW is... Oh, Zidane had a crash here. It's saying Zidane is in 4th place. I don't know who was spinning there. My apologies. I've just the number 55 car. Who's the number 55? That is... I'm being number blind here. Yeah, so that is BMW. So it looks like someone had a yellow flag out there, but it says here Zidane is currently in 4th place. So has Zidane crashed here? I mean, obviously he has. He's currently in 4th place. But there was a big spin out there. I don't know if anyone spotted that. As we say, Malmsey saying aloha. Hi, Malmsey. How you doing? But, Zidane, who was leading this race comfortably, is now up into, down into 4th place. And he's now has to chase down Sylph. So it looks like there must have been some sort of crash out there. But there also, when I took the camera on there, that was... So I instantly went to Zidane because I saw him drop down the order. I thought that was him that had the spin out, but it must have been another car out there. But he is now down in 4th, and he is going to have to chase down all these guys and get those positions back here. But he might also have some damage here, so we'll keep an eye on Zidane for a second as he comes around here. As we see, that is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in this race, all within a second of each other. So all of a sudden, Carl Williams has just realised that he can actually go on and win this race now. But as I was just saying earlier, Just Ayrton, currently in 14th place, is technically does have the pace to maybe get out and be the leader of this race following this little battle. But as Zidane decided to pit here, Zidane has pitted. So what we'll have to keep an eye on is how long this pit stop is. So let's see where Steph Ork comes out in relation to this. So I'm going to run with him now. So he's down the back of the circuit currently. So I'm wondering, because if he can get out ahead of Zidane here, that means that depending on how much time he can get over him, this might mean that Steph Ork is currently racing. So not Steph Ork, sorry, just Ayrton, sorry. As Just Ayrton's coming around the last couple. Sorry, I've got the wrong name there. My apologies. I'm all over the place for this race, guys. But Just Ayrton, sorry, he might end up having the lead of this race. Zidane is still stationary in the pit lane as Just Ayrton comes around here, and we do know that Daniel Zaitsev does get a drive-through penalty, so Zidane is still stationary, so he clearly has a lot of damage. So that gold class driver, I think, is going to be way out of the race picture here, and this is going to mean that one of these unsuspecting drivers is probably, as it looks like, Carl Williams has had a crash as well. He's just trying to get out. All the front leaders of this race are just bidding it, guys. So I wouldn't even. He's just safely lets them all out of the way. He gets back on the track here, but that has promoted Brandon Williams up to 5th place, and he is only so it looks like with Lico down in 4th. I'm wondering if Lico and and Kyle Williams have had a coming together, or maybe he's had to take avoiding action. But Sylph, our newly promoted sort of bronze driver, is currently leading this Grand Prix. And I think, based on the fact that Ayrton is out here pumping in these massive lap times, I think just Ayrton might necessarily be the net leader of this race. Tony Doc saying that Danya Zaitsev unfortunately has got a drive-through penalty, which is a shame. It's that's really unfortunate, but Zidane is massively behind now. He's actually down 3.8 seconds behind Steph Ork. So if we look at, let's say we look at just Ayrton as the net leader, that would mean Zidane, with 23 minutes to go, is going to have to claw back something like 25 seconds. Now that is possible, it can be done. But currently, Sylph is going to have to be rubbing his eyes. I don't think when he started this race today, he was probably going to be expecting to lead it. But he is legitimately currently the leader of this race, obviously pending all the pit stops, as we see Kyle Williams now in the pits. Now, what I would be interested to see, so what we do want to find out here is how Kyle Williams stacks up against the likes of Zidane. Now, I don't know with Zidane. It looks like Zidane's already passed him here, but that might be a lap down. I need to keep an eye on that one, or does that just mean that Kyle Williams has massively dropped down the order? I think that is going to be the case here. But we have now Sylph currently in first place, More Than Coat in second, Rich in third. We have Lico PT chasing him down in fourth place, and then we have Brandon Williams, who had that sort of spin on lap 1, I think it was, and he went down to 13th place. Now, it is not too bold of me to say that potentially Williams here could maybe come back here, because we're only halfway through this race, guys, and he might actually end up coming somewhere up towards the front. Because the one thing we do have to consider is, although Just Ayrton is potentially going to be the net leader of this race following all the pit stops, what might happen here is that he will, obviously, because he's been out on these tyres for pretty much most of the race, and I think his tyres will be really, really shot to bits come the end of the race. Ninja is still out there. He's plugging away in 16th place. Again, he was one of those drivers that pitted early on. It'll be interesting to see where he pops out when everyone else is pitted here. But he's 17 seconds back from Zidane, and I think he just needs to keep trying to pump in those lap times. And we'll drop back with these guys in a second. But I want to check in with the GT4 guys. They haven't had a lot of airtime recently due to all the action. But Champ of Hal is currently in 18th place. Looks like actually FX here has managed to get quite close to Champ of Hal. And as we see one of the other, oh no, as I just say, it just speeds out wide then. Looks like he's lapping one of the drivers here. But it did say a second ago that he was only about maybe 2.6 seconds behind Champ of Hal. So, never say never here. That you can see there's Champ of Hal there, and that is FX behind him. So he is trying to chase him down here, as we see Brandon Williams, that is Kyle Williams trying to get past the driver here. Guerrilla Radio is in third place, 27 seconds back, and Mark Music now has pitted in that GT4 class, and he is currently fourth place in this race. He has got the Seagull behind him. It looks like almost, at least sort of 4 or 5 corners behind. So those front three drivers have really managed to capitalise on these races. Black Cowboys looks like he does just get past the Seagull there, and he has passed him for what is 4th and 5th place in this race. Hush Webb is racing by himself up the top of the field. He has Robbo as the next man behind him, but he's like a lap behind. So I think Hush Webb has got that 6th place position pinned down. And then Malmsey is in 27th. We have had, I think, one retiree here. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but as we now have Champ of Hal and FX both in the pit lane, I wonder if one of these guys can have a better stop than the other. And then we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see if who can get through to out the pits first. And as Guerrilla Radio is coming around, as he decided to pit this lap as well, as we now see, we've still got all of the top 9 drivers. Actually, Sylph has pitted, and Sylph has come out 5.7 seconds ahead of Ayrton. So where I thought Ayrton might have ended up being the actually, where is it? Yeah, that is right. Yeah, so Ayrton maybe got caught up by GT4 cars at the wrong time, but this currently means that Sylph is the net leader of this race. FX does get out the pit stop, and he will be still about 3.1 seconds behind Champ of Hal, and we're just waiting on Guerrilla Radio to pit now, and then we'll see how those ones unfold here. But we now have More Than Coat in the pit lane. Or is he just coming out of the pit lane or just stopping? We'll just keep an eye on this one. Yeah, it looks like he is lined up to stop. And we also have Rich and Doug Bors. So now we're starting to see this race unfold as BMW is currently standing in third place here. Zidane is racing Steph Ork. Steph Ork, we know, isn't a slow driver, and I don't think he's going to just get out of the way for Zidane here. And we do see Carl Williams now down in 17th place. It does look like, actually, sorry here, that FX has managed to get out ahead of Champ of Howell. I have to apologise there. So FX has managed to jump Champ of Howell in the pit stops, and the rookie driver in his debut race for XCL is now leading that GT4 class. So keep an eye on that one, guys. As we now see, Zidane is getting pretty racy on the back of Steph Ork here as he's trying to get past for that 14th and 13th place. More Than Coat does get out ahead of Sylph here. Is that right, actually? Because it keeps jumping all over the place. No, Sylph is behind More Than Coat. So More Than Coat has jumped Sylph by probably about, maybe even about sort of 6 or 7 seconds there that he's jumped him in the pit stop. Sorry, about 8 seconds there. So although we did see Sylph potentially having an unlikely lead of this race, it now looks like that More Than Coat is now leading this race. So keep an eye on the likes of people like Brandon Williams and Lico and see what kind of times they can do. But this pit stop is really shaking people up here. So I don't know if some people are just running the high fuel loads and then only putting 1 litre in the pit stops, and whether some people are actually pitting and adding half their fuel, and that's what's causing them to lose about 6 to 8 seconds in the pit stops here. But yeah, I honestly at this point don't know who is going to win this race. But yeah, Sylph is currently 6.4 back from More Than Coat, but who knows once the rest of these pit stops have unfolded, that we'll see who actually leads this race as Chikorito dives in the pits from 6th place here. But yeah, the current talk of this one is FX currently beating Champ of Howell, who had the lead of this race all the way around, currently being held up by Gorilla Radio. I don't know if that's the guy who's just passed there. Yes, it looks like Champ of Howell, has got past Gorilla Radio. Now the question is can Champ of Howell close that 4-second gap to FX and take back the lead of this race, or is FX going to get a debut win in the GT4 class on his XCL debut here? This is going to be a great little drive and something to watch out for here. I don't know if Daniel Zaitsev has decided to retire. We do know that Ronald Spires has, as we do see that BMW is in the pits here. I thought he'd already pitted, so that's an interesting one as well. As we see BMW down here in the pit stops. Maybe he's decided to retire as well. Kyle Williams is still out there. He will, he's trying to chase these guys down, but unfortunately he had that crash and he had to come in the pits here. But we still have 4 drivers out here. I don't know if they're going to decide to maybe pit on the last lap, as Lico is currently leading this race. Brandon Williams is 1 second behind him. Tack Gunner currently holding 3rd place in this race. He's got an 11-second lead over Mad Caster, and then behind that is your net leader of this race, More Than Coat, who is he's got about a 6-second lead over Sylph. So we'll see how that gap closes down. As Ayrton looks like he's lost a place to Rich here, because he was he's 0.1 behind here. But like I did say, that Ayrton pitted. As Chikorito gets a stop and go 30 penalty, and he hits the wall on the way out of the pits as well. So not only, I think that's going to be got retirement written all over it, has it? I don't know if he's going to continue here. So he's got a, oh no, has he glitched out here as he's going into the ground? That is like a scene from Tremors there, guys. If you've watched that, that's a lovely film. But yeah, I think he's probably glitched out here. So Dick Trickle, if you're watching this, I think that is a valid view of him potentially glitching out, as More Than Coat now is chasing down Mad Caster on those fresher tyres, 2.8 seconds back. Champ of Howell is 5.8 seconds back from FX, as we do see BMW in the pits here. But Champ of Howell is falling back from FX here, so FX is looking for that decent debut win. Rich is chasing down Zidane. It might not be chasing down. Looks like Zidane has got past these guys and he is up to 9th place. So I don't know if he's chased them down or he has just lost that place. But a lot of the field is spread out currently. But Williams is still looking pretty racy on Lico here, 0.3 of a second back. Tony Doc saying BMW crash. I think he must have crashed there, because I think he's probably retired from this race as well. But Kyle Williams, currently in 15th place in this race, currently holds the fastest lap. So he is out there. Looks like that is maybe Sylph ahead of him. So he's a lap down on the leaders. But it's unfortunate for him following that little crash. And then he had to go in and repair his damage or whatever. But I think he maybe had a collision with Lico, or Lico maybe had to take avoiding action. But with 14 minutes left this race, we still have 4 drivers in the GT3 class yet to pit, and we still have Guerrilla Radio in the GT4 class yet to pit. So there's still a bit of action to unfold here, but as we see the GT3 car starting to pass BMW, so I think, yeah, BMW has opted to retire here alongside Ronald Spears, and it looks like, yeah, Zaitsev has decided to quit this race as well. And I think we did lose... I can't remember what the driver was, but he had to stop and go 30 penalty. I think he may be glitched out of this race. I'm not sure. But currently right now we have Lico leading the race, Williams in second. We have Tack Gunner chasing him down in third, 7.3 seconds back. Mad Sidecaster behind him, 10.9 seconds back. These 4 drivers are currently first, second, third and fourth in this race, but they are also the only 4 drivers that haven't pitted. Behind him, more than Cody, you can see just creeping up in the distance. He is the net leader of this race, having already done his pit stop. He is getting the gap. Sylph is closing that gap down by about 0.6 of a second over the last couple of minutes, but I don't know that pace if it's going to be enough. Sylph at one point looked like he might win this race, but it looks like More Than Coat has potentially got this one at the minute. As we see, Mad Sidecaster has now opted to pit here. Just Ayrton, who has got those tyres on for over probably half an hour now. He is trying to chase down the guys ahead. He has got past Doug Bors. And until he's got Doug Bors and Zidane behind him, I don't know if they can close him down now. They have got those fresher tyres. Zidane looking to make amends here as he doesn't want to lose any XCL rating points being the gold class driver. But the guys that do finish ahead of him, being a gold driver, that is going to give him a lovely little XCL boost. He is currently 2.7 seconds back from Doug Bors, so keep an eye on that one. Rich is chasing down Baz for his 10th and 11th in this race. He also has Steph Ork behind him. These guys are in a battle for that last sort of elusive 10th place, which is always a good target to aim for. SLR Rosso is some way back, 13 seconds. Also, he's about now half a second back, I said there. That's from Mad Sidecaster, who pops in just behind Steph Ork. But we'll keep an eye on those times as they get a bit more relevant. Ninja 6 seconds back from SLR Rosso. So let's see if Ninja can close that gap and get that 13th spot. Carl Williams, about half a lap back, is currently sat behind Sylph here, who is currently in 5th place of this race, but probably net second. But yeah, he's got Williams behind him a lap down. Checking in with the, as we see, FX. So this is FX on his debut race of XCL. Hasn't raced with us before. Jumped into the GT4 class. Got 2nd place in qualifying. Pipped Champ of Howie in the pit stops, and now he is on a course to potentially get a debut win with XCL, which would be fantastic for him. Champ of Howie in 2nd place, being chased down. Oh, so Guerrilla Radio finally decides to pit, and that will allow Mark Music, as you see, just come around the last corner to take back that podium position in the GT4 classes. So well done to Mark Music for having a good race here today. Hush Webb is about a lap down on Guerrilla Radio here, so I think that will probably be where he's going to finish, in 4th place here. Robbo is chasing him down. He's about another lap down from Hush Webb in he'd be in 5th place in the GT4 classes. And then we have the Seapool in 6th, Black Cowboys in 7th, and then Malmsey in 8th place, which is the last remaining driver out there racing currently right now. As actually BMW is back out on track, so yeah, I think Tony did say he had a crash, and it must have been a hell of a crash because he was in the pits for about 3 laps there. But he is back out there just pumping in those lap times, because you never know who's going to retire here. But these 3 guys at the front are staying strong. They haven't pitted yet. You can see More Than Coat has got 15 seconds behind here. I don't know how long it takes to do a pit stop just for fuel, but we'll keep an eye on that one as it does continue on. Wolf is saying that Ninja is reporting tyre pressure failure in the rear tyres. He's losing half a second a lap. That would probably explain why Ninja's slightly off the pace here to SLR Rosso ahead of him, who is the event manager for this race today. Ninja is actually, just to mention here, is newly promoted, because XCL is growing massively, guys, and obviously there's if you are listening and you are interested in getting involved, XCL are looking for new positions. We're looking for a new broadcaster to complement myself and Dick Trickle. So if you are interested in becoming a commentator and maybe joining me in the booth or doing some of your own streams and things like that, then obviously we are looking for a broadcaster. We're also looking for a community manager, which is what Ninja has just been promoted to. So he moved from a steward, I think, to community manager. So fantastic job, Ninja. Well done, and I hope you're successful in that role. I think potentially that's what Matsai Cast has been promoted to as well. I'm not sure exactly. I think a few people have got different jobs here now, or maybe he's a steward. I can't remember the exact roles. Nick Trickle, if you're listening, can you just tell me what all these new positions are? Yeah, so we're looking for another community manager, another events manager, and another broadcaster. So if you are listening today and you do want to get involved with XCL, go onto my Twitch stream, go into my dashboard on my main screen, and there is a link to the Discord of XCL. Click on that link, hop in, have a chat with Mr. Trickle, and I'm sure he will tell you what kind of roles are available if you're looking to get interested in getting involved in one of the jobs we have here. So just to go back to the GT4 classes for a second. So FX, and now everyone's pitted. So FX is leading the race. He's got a 5.8 second gap over Champ of Hal. Mark Music is on the podium there for the GT4 class. Guerrilla Radio is in 4th. Hush Web is in 5th. Robbo is in 6th. The Seaple is in 7th. Black Cowboys is in 8th. And Malmsey is currently in 9th place. So that is your GT4 category. Out the front here, we have Lico PT leading the race currently. He has Brendan Williams behind him by 0.8 of a second. About 9 seconds back from him is Tack Gunner, currently holding 3rd place. And then 14.6 seconds back from him is More Than Coat, who is chasing down this. I think he is the net leader of this race, but you don't know if Lico and Williams are maybe going to dive in with the last few minutes of this race to go. I don't know where they're going to pop out, but based on the fact that Madsai Caster was up there somewhere close. As I just want to make a note actually that Zidane has got past Baz, and he is now chasing down Doug Bors here for potentially what will be 7th place. As he does get down the inside here, as Doug Bors and Zidane are side by side going up the hill. Is a right-hander next, and Doug Bors yields that spot. I don't know if he's going to try and tuck in the slipstream and try and attack him back down to the chicane. That will mean that Doug Bors has now promoted himself up into 7th place in this race. The next car up the road is Just Ayrton. Now we know Just Ayrton has got those tyres on. Yeah, he has had those tyres on for well in excess of probably 30-35 minutes. So Zidane 9.4 seconds back with 7 minutes to go. Can he chase down that 6th place spot and claw back some more of those XCL rating points? Sylph currently chasing down More Than Coat here. So this isn't over yet, guys. Sylph is now 4.3 seconds behind Coat here. So even if Coat is the net leader of this race, Sylph was 6 seconds back. He's now only 4.3. He does know that the next car ahead of him is More Than Coat. And also, if you look at the track map, the red dot on the left-hand side of the screen, that is the driver we're racing with. More Than Coat is the red dot ahead here. Look at that clean air they have ahead of him here. So this is a great opportunity for these two to pump in some serious lap times now. And it's just a case of who can hold out the longest with 6.5 minutes to go. But still we wait for Lico, Williams and Gunner to come in. Surely something's going to have to give soon, as there's only going to be about, 1.5 to 2, maybe 6 laps left of this race. Maybe 4 laps, of this race left. As we're coming around now, is one of these drivers going to pit this lap? We'll have a look, because it looks like, yes. Lico and Williams both decide to pit. So is Tack Gunner going to come around and potentially take the lead of this race? Or is he going to pit as well? Okay, so it looks like all 3 of these drivers have now decided to pit. So the question is, where is More Than Coat? So More Than Coat is coming around the final hairpin now. I don't know how much fuel these guys are going to have to put in, but they are all currently stationary. So as More Than Coat comes past, he will then take the lead of this race. As it looks like actually Lico is coming out the pit lane. He will just lose the first place spot to Coat, but he is going to get ahead of Sylph here. So Sylph is going to be pulling up behind Lico here. So Tack Gunner is still in the pit, so he must have had a bit of a poor stop here. And we do see that Williams is back out there as well. So let me just see how this all unfolds here. So it does look like More Than Coat does have the lead over Lico. Is only 1.7 seconds back now. So I keep talking about these fresh tyres. I've just realised there is no tyre pit stops on here. So where I was saying about everyone, potentially Ayrton having a disadvantage with tyres, why did no one in the chat say this? There is no tyre advantage here. No one's pitted for tyres, and unless potentially there was a bit of damage at the start here. But Lico is now only 1.7 seconds behind. Sylph about 2.6 behind him, and then Williams 2.7 behind him. So we don't know how this podium's going to finish yet, guys. So it is going to be keep an eye to watch on here. Wolf saying soon we're going to have personnel to cover all eight days of the week. I think you're right there. You are very true. Choo Choo Train saying, what lap are we on? Yeah, it is a timed race, but we are on lap 26. You can see at the top here, next to More Than Coat's name on the left-hand side of the screen. Oh, as no, Zidane gets a drive-through penalty. So Zidane, who was on a charge here to get that 6th place spot, is going to have to drive through the pits now, and he's going to fall right back down the order, and that's going to allow Mad Car potentially to get up into the, as we see, BMW taking evasive manoeuvres there. But yeah, Lico here chasing down More Than Coat 1.4 seconds back, and Williams chasing down Sylph 2.2 seconds back off of him. There is 3 Mercedes drivers currently in the top 4 here, guys. So that is it's a good day for Mercedes drivers. So with 3 minutes 42 seconds left to this race, where is More Than Coat on the track? Potentially, I think we've got maybe 2 or 3 laps left of this race, depending on how they cross the line here. But Lico's looking pretty racy. Now, what More Than Coat doesn't want to do is get caught behind a lot of back markers here. As is he going to collide with Lico here? Lico just having to take avoiding action. That is going to be a bit of breathing space for More Than Coat. But yeah, looking at the field here, it doesn't look like there's going to be many cars potentially in the way now between the last couple of laps here. But let's just check back in with the battle of the behind here. So just to mention that Champ of Hal has closed the gap on FX up to 2.2 seconds. So this isn't over yet, as Champ of Hal tries to get that lead back that he did hold for the first whole half of this race. Mark Music is yeah, racing in a race of his own in 3rd place here, so I think he's pretty much guaranteed for that position there. Guerrilla Radio is almost like half a lap behind, trying to chase him down. So yeah, in these positions here, guys, there isn't much to be said. It's pretty much going to be as you are with Malmsey in the 9th place position, Black Cowboys in 8th, Seapool in 7th, Robbo in 6th. Hushweb in 5th, Guerrilla Radio 4th, Mark Music in 3rd, Champ of Hal 2nd, and yeah, FX currently out in the lead on his debut here. Lico is currently 1.2 seconds behind More Than Coat, so this battle is going to be raging on for the last. So it looks like, actually, I think when More Than Coat crosses the line, that will be the triggering the last lap of this race. So we do have one more lap to go after this one, folks. As we see Zidane has cleared his drive-through, and I'm not sure where that's going to put him in this race. It looks like he's currently dropping down the order. I think he will lose a few more places before this. Where is Rich here? Yeah, so Rich is ahead of him, so is Mad Caster. So I think Zidane is just behind those guys in 11th place, with Steph Hawke just behind there. But yeah, these it looks like Sylph is dropping off the back here, and he's falling into the hands of Brandon Williams. So as they come around for this last lap, Brandon Williams will have to put in the lap of his lifetime here, as he is, like I said, at 1.4 seconds back. But he does have an opportunity here to potentially snatch that podium off of Sylph with just over 1 lap to go. So as we see Coat cross the line, he will trigger what will be the last lap of this race.
Leaders on final lap now.
Lico, 1.2 seconds back. Sylph is in 3rd. He's got Brandon Williams behind him. There isn't really many other battles going on other than Mad Caster trying to chase down Rich here for what will be 9th place in this race, as BMW is going to try and unlap himself. And is he going to collide with Mad Caster there? Doesn't look like it, but Zidane is in the background, and he's going to try and potentially steal that place off of Mad Caster with that 1 lap to go. Now, Carl Williams is still holding off the fastest lap of this race, and I think if he wouldn't have had that collision, he may have been one of the potential challengers for the top here. But then I suppose if Zidane would have had the penalty either, I think he would have ran away with it. So the first and second drivers in this race, they both had little collisions. But to be fair, 1st, 2nd and 3rd with Brandon Williams, all those drivers have had incidents and fouled down the order. As we see, I'll say, look at Ninja. Ninja is still chasing down SLR Rosso, but it doesn't look like he's going to have enough corners or laps left in order to close that order down. But let's just check on where FX is on the track here. He is coming around, so he's on his last lap now as well. This is good. So, More Than Coat, who's had a great race today. He's just bided his time. He has, capitalised on everyone else's misfortunes. He had a great pit stop run. and I think he probably has to go down as my driver of the day as well. He's had a great race today. And he is going to cross the line and take the multi-class victory. Lico is going to round out the second place, and then so yeah, Sylph is going to. Oh, with Brandon Williams just behind him here, is going to round out the last podium spot in third with so Williams in fourth. Ayrton is going to take fifth place. Great recovery drive, considering he pitted on the first lap there. Tack Gunner is going to take sixth. Doug Bors is going to take seventh, with Baz and Rich taking seventh, eighth, and ninth. So we look at Bors now. Baz in eighth. Richard ninth, and it looks like Zidane did get Mad Sycaster on that final lap, so that's going to boot him out of what will be that top 10 place. Let's just go over to the battle at the front as Champ of Hal is right behind FX with a few corners to go, but can FX hold off for two more corners and take a debut win in the GT4 class? And yeah, that'll be a fantastic little race for him, and I like to see these drivers when they come into these races and win on the first race, because it does mean that probably within about 3 or 4 or 5 races time, just like Kyle Williams, you will jump straight up to bronze class and be racing with the big boys then. But yeah, fantastic effort by FX, and he will be my GT4 driver of the day as well. And Champ of Hal gave him a good run for his money, and he will finish in second place, back out of Xbox. Jail, Mark Music rounding out the podium places in the GT4 races. There you have it, folks. That is yeah, so the final running order is More Than Coat first, Lico second, Sylph third, Williams fourth, Ayrton fifth, Gunner sixth, Bors seventh, Baz eighth, Rich ninth, Zidane 10th, Mad Sycaster and Steph Ork in 11th, 12th, Rosso and Ninja 13th, 14th, Carl Williams a lap back in 15th following that crash. And then, like I said, we have, I think BMW maybe quit here, but we also have Ronald down in 25th place in the Lover GT3 class. And then with the GT4s, we have FX in first, Champ of Hal second, Mark Music third, Guerrilla Radio fourth, Hushweb fifth, Robbo sixth, the Seapool seventh, Black Cowboys eighth, and Malmsey in ninth. But that was a heck of a race, guys. More Than Coat picks up my driver of the day for the GT3 series, and FX on his debut in XCL in the GT4 series in the rookies picks up my driver of the day there. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for the chat. And yeah, I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye for now.